when you increase the federal funds rate, you gotta be prepared for an increase in interest rate. In the opposite case, when the FFR is low, then overnight loans are bound to show. The Federal Open Market Committee, or the FOMC, they control the supply of your money. The Board of Governors, or the BOG, they help set the RRR as the FED. And if the discount rate is very high, then say buy to the money supply. And when you need some money stat, just know lending and borrowing always have your back. And if loaners have lower interest rates, money demand will always look great.
It all started with John Maynard Keynes, whose ideas are behind every modern economy. He advocated for government intervention within the markets to prevent a recession. On the other side stands F.A. Hayek, whose ideas started quite a riot. He believed in capitalism for all, where entrepreneurship must never stall, and the government stands by the side and allows the markets to realign. The supply and demand graph is the plan. It shows where aggregate supply crosses aggregate demand. Where they intersect is where the production is currently, but if the government wants less, they can set a price ceiling. Another graph is the PPC, and this shows the production possibilities. One single curve shows a single country's production, where trade-offs must be made because resources are limited. While there is a marginal benefit of creating one product, you can't make everything, so remember marginal cost.
When the government wants to control the economy, they decide to turn to fiscal policy. They collect taxes to fund the federal budget. They hope to keep it balanced to prevent a deficit. A progressive tax makes the rich pay more, but a regressive tax makes the poor more poor. If hearing all of that made you hate all governments, then let me introduce you to Reaganomics. Also known as supply-side policies, the government takes a small role in the economy. Through deregulation, companies are freed, and hopefully this increases GDP. On the other hand, you could support regulations where the government can control all the corporations. Through tariffs, the government promotes domestic goods by taxing any imports of foreign goods. However, all of this spending can cause regret because the market may undergo the crowding out effect, in which the government borrows too much, increasing the interest rate, leaving others in the dust. If hearing all of this, you're on the same page, become an economist and collect a great wage.
Hey, let me tell you all about the GDP. It's the gross domestic product, measures values of economy. Unemployment is directly related to the GDP, as more money creates job opportunities. GDP is affected by inflation and deflation attacks. This is all represented on business cycle graphs. The highest point on this graph is the peak of it all. The trough represents when you reach the lowest fall. Large fluctuations come from cyclical industries, causes expansion and contractions forming liabilities. Expansions are increases on the business cycle. Contractions are the opposite and is very vital. Economic growth increases goods and services of the society, which will keep the people out of poverty. I'll end this verse on durable goods as I go over time. These are values that'll last a long lifetime.